Not long ago, we were talking about Sydney Sweeney's brand deal with Dr. Squatch Men's Natural Body Wash, and there were two responses. They were either saying, this is humiliating, this is so sexist and objectifying, why is she doing this? Does she owe someone money? Is she desperate for cash and she's broke that she needs to do this? And the other response was, I'm immediately buying this body wash so that Sydney Sweeney will like me.
Yeah.
And I saw another post about this brand deal that she did saying, for the homosexual youth, this is what adverts were like 20 years ago. We have literally gone back. Woke status put away by Sydney Sweeney's mommy milkers.
I wonder if they know that these ads never went away. They're just on Instagram for like Manscaped.
Should we show some of these? I didn't see the rest of these where she plays a genie.
Oh, see, when we were looking at these before, these are the ones I thought you were talking about. These are the ones that I had seen.
When we talked about it originally, we showed one of the ads, but I didn't know it was like a whole thing where she did multiple.
Let's just show one of them here so people can see what we're talking about.
She like electrocutes men.
Well, let's,
so
do we want to do that one? Or this was the first one that I saw. Here we go, guys. Hold on. Here we go.
Body wash genie. What? Dr. Squatch Natural Body Wash? Sydney Sweeney Body Wash Genie?
What's your wish? It could be anything.
Coconuts. Sydney Sweeney, get down!
Dr. Squatch Body Wash for men who prefer natural.
I think it's great.
I love the idea that there's just a boardroom of people who have to write these, and that's my favorite part, right? That there's a bunch of people who sit around and say, like, you know what'd be funny?
Maybe she came up with it herself.
It's fantastic.
These ads are not rare. It's just, it's usually not done this way, and it's usually with, IG models.
Well, when this was posted a day ago, this person responded saying, this is actually the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen. Did she hit someone with her car? Is this community service? Why is she doing this?
That's a fat woman for sure. I talked about this earlier. Like, it's ugly, obese women are angry at attractive women for using their attractiveness to their benefit.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Man,
sour grapes.
There is nothing wrong with some big old boobies and on commercials. I love it. It's great.
I just think it's weird how we were talking before the show. I said 20 years ago, this ad would have been frowned upon as well. It just would have been frowned upon by Christian conservatives.
Yeah.
Now it's frowned upon by leftists for a different reason, which is mainly jealousy.
I talk about this all the time. It's the weirdest thing. It's hyper left people want you to cover up because you're too attractive, and it's hyper right people that want you to cover up because it's not modest. They weirdly agree with each other for different reasons.
Horseshoe theory.
Yeah.
Right? And you see stuff like this and you wonder, well, why don't they advertise stuff like this anymore? It's not like the movies shy away from this stuff. We talk all the time about degeneracy in movies and sex. I mean, I guess sex scenes tend to be more television shows than movies.
Well, this was my first thought, is that the Dr. Squatch body wash ad Sydney Sweeney did was far more tasteful and PG than anything she's done in her TV shows or movies.
Yeah.
So what's the big idea? What's the outrage about? I was talking about how, like, her scenes in Euphoria are way more distasteful and just straight up pornographic than anything that was shown in these ads.
I mean, what they're making it about is the gender wage gap. That's what they're saying. They're saying
nobody was outraged when she did actual porn scenes in Euphoria. So why are they mad now?
Because she was doing it in a movie or in a television show, so they see that as some form of high art.
Yeah, that's bizarre to me, because I don't see that. I don't see Euphoria as high art.
They see it that way, and that's whether, it is or it isn't, that's up to the taste of the person who's actually consuming the media. I think most people would say it's not, right?
Wait, so I could just tell people that, like, all the porn that I watch is just high art?
That's all you have to say.
Yeah, if you're Sam Levinson.
Yeah.
This makes sense, actually. That's what I'm going to do from now on. I'm going to completely exonerate myself and all the bad feelings I have.
It's like the meme where it's like the cops come in on the guy and the woman having sex, and they're like, "You're under arrest for prostitution." He goes, "No, we're not." And he points and there's a camera. They're like, "Oh, sorry."
We have another 20 from Demo. John C. Reilly talking truth about big old chesticles in advertising, my man.
It's sex sells. It's always sold, and it will continue to do so. But I agree that there's something a little bit more. I wouldn't say wholesome is the word, but it's just more PG and more fun.
It has a sense of humor about itself.
Yeah.
It's a little bit ironic.
Well, the issue is she's using her looks for that's that entire drive of the commercial is Sydney Sweeney's here, coconuts, giant titties, she's great, and like the guys are, oh, Sydney Sweeney, and that's fine because that's how I feel when I look at Sydney Sweeney.
But they were making it about the gender wage gap. They're saying that she's not making as much money as her male counterparts without realizing that she had given an interview a while ago. Remember, it was the whole thing. It's like, I had to buy a $3 million mansion. I'm broke now. That was before she had all of the success she's had recently. She's already more successful than she was then. So it's like they're
saying that
complain.
she has to take brand deals that are below her, they're beneath her, because they don't pay her enough for her movie roles.
Because men are evil.
Yes.
So it always boils down to this poor, sexy woman is having to show her sexiness because men are evil, and she doesn't get paid as much as Hugh Jackman. And I'm like, it's because Hugh Jackman, when he's mad on camera, he looks mad, and when you're on camera, you just look sexy. You're not a good actress, therefore you don't get paid the same market share as Ryan Reynolds.
It's really funny because you don't see them complaining about that. Like the whole time they were promoting Deadpool and Wolverine, it was all about Hugh Jackman being shirtless
and his abs. And the whole movie's about that. He's like, they're like waiting for the abs, and then they
Thor: Love and Thunder did the same thing pretty much.
Oh, they ripped his clothes off.
Yeah.
So it is a misnomer to pretend like this doesn't happen to the men.
But it's also
industry.
like, I'm sure Dakota Johnson, another woman in Hollywood, was paid more for Madam Web than Sydney Sweeney was because she was the star of the movie.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And she's been in the industry longer. That's how that works in any industry.
And people have no sympathy for these types of things because what they're going to tell you is like, look, it's up to you to negotiate the contract you think you deserve, and if you don't feel like you deserve, if you don't feel like you're getting paid enough, walk away.
And Sydney Sweeney has like big ambitions to have a production company and all this stuff and become the next Margot Robbie in that regard. The problem is she's just not as good at acting as Margot Robbie. Her acting skills are better put to use in something like this than a serious movie that's high art.
There's no reason.
So she knows what she's good at.
Yeah, like they're like if she's kind of like an A-list version of a horror movie, of a B horror movie actor.
Like I was saying earlier, you have to use what you have. If you gave me a set of freaking mommy milkers and a tight waist and I was blonde and 24, holy dude, I would do everything possible. Oh, your contract says your boobies have to be out. I'll be like, they can be out the whole time. I don't care. Like, give me money and let me be as active in my career as I can until I'm 34 and I'm no longer sexy. And just do that forever. And
then get married to whatever producer was telling you to do that.
Yeah, you already have $100 million. You got $100 million in your savings. You got 1,000 hours of footage of you looking sexy when you were younger that you could always look back on and cry and drink wine.
Well, then they'll go to conventions and make tons of money. The funny thing was, so we were just talking, you just mentioned Margot Robbie. I just saw something, and I feel bad because I don't remember what it was. They were talking about she's got a new project in the works right now.
The Sims movie?
No, it wasn't the Sims movie. And they were saying that they were shopping it. It was being shopped to streamers, and she said they don't want to release it streaming.
Oh, it was the Wuthering Heights.
Yes.
Movie.
So they were saying they want to put that out in theaters because much like Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell did with Anyone But You, they realized that releasing it in theaters will have more cultural impact than releasing stuff straight to streaming.
Which Sydney Sweeney knew before everybody else. She's ahead of the game.
Yeah, so to pretend like she isn't a fantastic businesswoman who just happens to be using, her talents just is a little bit insulting. And I do find it weird that 20 years on and the same morality is being spit back at us just from the other side, but they don't see it or they can't see it.
Well, I just think, say what you want about Sydney Sweeney, but she's smarter than anyone as beautiful as her needs to be. And that's something to be proud of.
Yeah. If you can have a conscious, like, reasonable thought and you're that attractive, you won.
Yeah.
You're good to go. Because usually these girls, you could be like, what two countries border the USA, Mary? And if you were one of these girls, you'd be like, I don't know. And that's the like,
Alaska.
That's the issue. That's
Hawaii,
the issue.
right?
A reasonable thought, and you're attractive. You won the lottery. Enjoy.
Yeah, if Sydney Sweeney were dumb, she probably would have gone to college and then like started an OnlyFans to pay for her student loan debt and then faded into obscurity.
I wish that path would have happened.
Well, and people were saying that in the comments. They're like, she could just do that. And I'm like, but she's not. That's even more impressive. She's doing it without doing that.
It's pretty clear why she's doing this. She wanted a payday. She wanted to make money off of an ad.
I think, what did I say before? I said this is the female equivalent of Tom Selleck doing the reverse mortgage ads that he does that old people see on daytime television.
Also, I just don't think that cleavage is like inherently distasteful.
Yeah, I think it's the classiest, most beautiful thing that's ever happened.
Like, if you look back at how women dressed in like the Regency era,
Yeah,
in like
dude.
the 1880s,
Like Victorian.
they had their tits out, and it was a much more Puritan
Yeah.
era in culture than it is now. Obviously,
couldn't show an ankle, but you
I
could
just-
have them freaking rocks.
I would just like the left to be able to acknowledge that they've come full circle, you know, to where the Christian right was back in the late 90s.
Remember, free the nipple.
In the
and
early
that's not a thing
2000s.
anymore. Now it's cover your nipple up if you're attractive.
I would just like some consistency. That's
Yes.
all I'm asking.
I agree.
Some consistency.
you're
All
not
right.
going to get it.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.